Okay. Primarily into the overnight hours is when we expect a sweeping line or cluster of showers and storms to be strong to severe and move through while we're sleeping for most of us. So showers and storms will get strong to severe with some heavy downpours possible. You need to stay alert. Make sure that you turn your alerts on your phone. If you don't have that, hopefully you have a weather radio or another method to be warned in case we do get some severe weather headed your way in the middle of the night while you're sleeping. These are the most dangerous storms when they happen in the middle of the night because most people aren't aware that they're coming. Potential impacts for you. The main impact is going to be damaging wind gusts up to 70 miles per hour possible. And localized flooding is certainly not out of the question because we've already had quite a bit of rain lately. And with more rain, potential for 1 inch to 2 inches, we could possibly have some localized flooding. Isolated tornado possible, and we'll have hail possibility of 1.5 inches in diameter or greater. There is a severe thunderstorm watch that has been issued. It's for all the counties here shaded in yellow, and the reason is we've had a cluster of thunderstorms move across Tennessee, southern part, and some of those have been severe into Kentucky. So we're going to continue to watch those trek eastward, and some of our Tennessee counties are included in that watch through 6 p.m. because of it. There is no watch issued yet for tonight, but I'm kind of expecting one. It'll just be later on when it gets issued. There's a flood watch until 4 a.m. for all of us into Kentucky because of the potential for flooding there and very saturated ground. You can see we have severe thunderstorms still trying to move through Kentucky. The rest of us are pretty clear. I'm going to zoom in a little bit closer on this storm because this one is severe and it is affecting some of us, especially those that are in Whitley and Knox and Bell and McCreary and Clay counties, Laurel County included. This severe thunderstorm warning goes until 2 o'clock this afternoon, and there it is. Radar indicated for Bell, Clay, Knox, Laurel, Whitley. And there's another severe thunderstorm warning that includes some folks just north of that, but it's kind of out of our area, and that storm continues to move on as well. These storms are moving pretty quickly, so as they race eastward, They could have some damaging winds associated with them. They're moving at about, about 70 miles per hour. That's pretty fast going eastward. 60-mile-an-hour wind gust and quarter-size hail possible with these storms. And let me show you real quick. I'm going to go back and give you the local storm reports. You can see there's hail that has been reported by a lot of these storms already up into Kentucky, but most of those have been north of us. Just to give you an idea of some of the sizing, I'm going to click on a couple of these that'll show you that these have been up to ½ an inch in diameter, some cases 1.5 inches. There's almost 1 inch in Greensburg, northward 1/2 inch. South of Richmond, there have been reports of 1 inch hail there, and there are some others that are interspersed of 1.5 inches. I know that because I looked at all of these earlier. So there is definitely a potential for some hail and for hail later on with the storms that are coming tonight. So here are the storms racing eastward. I think the counties that are in Tennessee now that have been included in that watch, unless we have more formation, this cluster is not going to affect any of us in Tennessee at the moment. It is moving on, so eventually it's going to be even out of the counties up into Kentucky as they continue to move on too. I'm going to go ahead and go to another product just to see if we got any good hail, vertical integrated liquid. Yes, looks like there could be some hail associated with the storms to the north, especially north of Big Creek and up toward Buckhorn. This particular storm that's trying to develop, it may have a little bit of small hail associated with it there, and that's the one that's racing north of Williamsburg and across 75 and head east extremely fast. And that's 70 mile an hour is a very fast moving storm. There also has been just an incredible light show. Look at all the lightning associated with this storm. I'm going to go to vertical velocity. There has been some potential damaging wind associated with that. If you see the reds there with the bright greens that are showing up, there's some potential wind gusts that are very strong, especially back toward London and also northward toward Greenmont. Could have some very strong winds with some of those storms that are moving through. In the meantime, let me go ahead and recap what's been happening with your forecast highs today. We are going to be in the 80s, and that's plenty of fuel for these showers and storms to continue to develop. 86 degrees for an afternoon high, 88 in Pigeon Forge, 88 in Tellico Plains. You probably notice it feels pretty humid. We have dew points running up about 70. So there's plenty of moisture capacity in the atmosphere to bring us not only strong to severe thunderstorms, but a potential for very heavy downpours too. Severe risk today, likely level 3 out of 5, elevated is level 2. And it has extended now a little bit further to the south. Earlier on, it was north of Knox County. Now it's much of Knox County. So I-40 northward, I-81 northward, the ones that are included in the higher likelihood of storms getting severe. Now, fortunately, the red zone is out of our area. That is meaning they're for certain going to get some severe storms out of that cluster as it moves in. And then elevated risk for those back toward the mountains. Now, here are the severe impacts. I put them on 4 different boxes because these are the 4 different potential problems we could have with these storms. Flooding risk. It is there, it's elevated, so we've had saturated ground, more rain just causes some headache and some flooding that's going on locally. Damaging wind risk, 30% where it's red, and the rest of us still have some damaging wind risk, about 15% toward the mountains. Tornado risk, it's active. We're going to have a possibility. It's 5% to 2% area-wide. You go a little bit more to the north, then that increases somewhat there. But the main impacts we're really looking at: damaging wind, damaging hail. Tornado, yes, it's possible, but damaging wind and hail are the ones that seem to be the most prevalent. And damaging hail risk, it's extended now across much of the area up to the 2nd level, 15%, and then northward into Kentucky, you have a 30% chance for some damaging hail of greater than an inch to an inch and a half in diameter. Now here's Futurecast. This is showing you that cluster. This is a little bit past that, moving through Kentucky, and it continues to drive eastward out of our area. But right behind me, this line is going to start to develop. And that's back toward Paducah, going into Indiana, stretching south through the Bootle, Missouri, and into the Ozarks. That'll be sweeping eastward. There's a cold front behind it, and that's what's causing this flare-up. And the difference in the air masses, especially this juicy one that's south of this line, is what's going to keep it active. And it has a very long slope that's going to impact some of us to the north first before it reaches the south because of that slope. So this is 10 o'clock, starting to get into the plateau. And once it does so, it'll be the strongest at about that point. And that's why the severe risk is a little bit higher up to the north through Kentucky. This is 1 a.m. Now, it could be off by maybe an hour, either before or after, depending if it picks up speed or slows down a little bit. But you really get the idea that the whole line is going to sweep through. And this is the Central Valley getting wet at that point. Once it gets to about the mountains, at about 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning, it'll be tapering off. And we start to clear out. And it starts to look a little bit better. So Futurecast is showing Saturday, probably a good day after the morning, after everything's initially over. Now, it will still be pretty warm. Our temperature is still going to go up into the 80s. Now, here's another look at the arrival of storms. It's maybe more clear. 10 p.m. till midnight is when it's going to be impacting those over the northern part of the plateau and up into Kentucky. Sweeps into the valley at midnight to 2 a.m. and then 2 a.m. to 4 a.m. once it gets to the Smokies. And the potential rainfall is quite healthy. Look at these amounts. Now, these are just estimates of potential based on this particular solution. Now, there are other solutions that show other ideas, but the likelihood of 1 to 2 inches of rain in that purple is pretty good, considering that's where the thunderstorms have been training, especially north into Kentucky, and then we're going to get that line that comes into the slope to where they'll be getting rain a little bit longer. So that's why in some of the embedded areas could get up to 2 to 3 inches there. South of I-40, we're talking about a half an inch to an inch. Doesn't mean individual storms couldn't produce more rain for you, and that could cause some issues there. Here's your 7-day forecast just to show you how it's going to play out for this weekend. We still have a 40% chance of some showers on Sunday. Those showers probably going to be in the morning, but it's a little difficult right now to fine-tune that. Just be aware you might have to have that umbrella handy on Saturday and Sunday. Saturday's just for the morning. Sunday morning, and then again maybe later on. Our temperatures are going to stay in the 80s early next week. We're going to be 82, 84 degrees on Tuesday. And then by the middle of the week, wow, what a change in our temperature. Thursday, we're going to be down to 79 or 69 degrees, well below our seasonal average by a good 10 degrees. I'm sure that'll feel good for a lot of folks, especially if we can get this humidity drop, because it has been very humid. I'm going to go ahead and show you a camera right now to give you an idea of what it looks like outside. Let's go to tower cam. This is showing overcast conditions across the area, and it's remaining that way. If we get a few holes opening up though, it's probably going to make it feel a little bit worse because of that heat, and it'll also destabilize the atmosphere much more when that happens. 7-day forecast for you. Again, it is going to be a weather impact alert not only for tonight, but through early morning on Saturday. So just make sure that you have a way to be warned so you know what is going to be happening throughout the night and when these storms vacate. We're going to have the whole team here. Well, most of the team is going to be definitely keeping track of things. Cassie's going to be in here a little bit later on, and then we're going to have to watch various things happen as these storms move in, and then Becca is going to be coming in overnight, tag team, to help out as these storms continue to plug eastward. Ball field getting ready for a game. Let's hope it doesn't rain on them later on this afternoon. We'll be back here periodically to give you an idea, especially if anything really flares up bad. Otherwise, stay safe today, stay aware, and we'll see you again here soon.